Hey, hello everybody. How are you? Prices are kind of weird. 12 and 16 cost the same. I wasn't really paying attention. Let me check. No, it was the 6 and 10 that cost credits. That's about the only thing I remember. Yeah, okay. The 8 costs less than the 16. The 6 costs a lot less than the 12. They might be kind of trying to... Because you remember that I told them a while back. I was like, hey, it's really weird that different weapon, or that lower weapon energies have the same cost as like their double energy counterparts. Like the 6 costs the same as the 12. It doesn't make any sense. And I think for the most part they agreed with me. And so this might be a way of them trying to like get it a bit more like linear in that regard. Which of course results in the 12 being uber expensive, but y'all should have saved your credits. You know who you're talking to though, right? I would say like 80% of people, if they had the credits yesterday to buy Revoker today, they would have spent all of it yesterday on something stupid like particle beam or something. They would have spent it. It would be gone by now. It costs 600,000. Yeah, it's actually not that much. You know, most most of these other ones, other legendary weapons cost more than that. They cost like 700,000. Some of them are even 8. Everyone's forgotten about mechs. It's not that people forget about it, it's that the devs have absolutely no pattern behind it. In terms of weapons, there's a pretty consistent roughly one every month or so. In terms of mechs, it's a crapshoot. You could be waiting 2 years like we did with Eclipse. Nobody understands what's going on with mechs. And so that's why you'd like, why even bother bringing it up? What are you going to do? Just like keep complaining that it doesn't exist yet? Like, at least for weapons, you have a general roadmap that you can sort of bank on. After how many days is a player called returning player? I'm not sure. I think it's about 30. It's not like you're not going to take a week off and then become a returning player and get that blast zone reward. I'm pretty sure I know what you're going for there. I think it's like 30 days. I think it's like 30 days. Are you going to get Revoker on your free-to-play account? I don't know. I mean, like, does anyone actually care, though, is the thing? Like, do I care? Do I want to spam Revoker? Would I feel cool if I was spamming Revoker? No, probably not. Is Revoker even a good weapon in regard to, like, lightly modded gameplay? Not really. I'd be better off with Stormwreck, to be honest. Like, I might get it, but Revoker's not even a great weapon. Outside of the really high, like, outside of when you're fighting really highly modded enemies. Without mods, Ember Gun's better. Anyway, yeah. So, Here's what we're gonna do. First, I don't care about those. Some blueprints. I am going to delete that. There's a particular challenge that I was given, and you may have seen some other people do this. There is a particular challenge to get, what was it? 15 kills with Revoker with 1 mech in a CPC match on the live server. And so I figured, yeah, sure, I may as well try to do that today. I mean, obviously, you guys know me by now. I'm going to do it in an interesting way. I'm not going to do some freaking Surge or Nomad. Oh my gosh, I'm such a pro Dash mech gamer. Like, I can pretty much guarantee, I haven't seen anyone else do it, but I can pretty much guarantee that they're all using stuff like that. Which is super, super lame. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start with, like, the lowest that I can get. This is not going to go well. I'm probably going to skip MD and Shadow and go straight for Tengu after this. But it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, I don't have a Lancer jump distance. So sad. You woke up and saw Omniverse's video on Revokers recently. What's happening? What do you think is happening? I mean, you saw the title of the stream, I assume. You know, sure. Just trying to think of, like, something I want to put on this thing. Nope. Yeah, okay. Ray, hello. You dare me to do Revoker with Killshot? Well, your dare is declined. How about that? Red, much appreciated. 33 months. Imagine Revoker Lacewing. It's actually, like, Revoker I think some people, some of you all are overestimating how much this game is just incredibly basic. You can slap OP mech plus OP weapon, and you'll get decent results every time. It does not matter what it is. What are you at? You're on Neymar, I guess. That's fine. Like, this game is not that complicated, okay? Like, I've seen people get really good results with Revoker Lacewing. What is the beef with Killshot? It's stupid. Killshot is super lame. No, I just like to hate on it because people freak out about it every time. I don't know why. It's like one of the only mechs where people, like, get legitimately upset if you don't like it, which is strange to me. Cool. You've maxed all of your mechs except for Killshot and Slingshot, yeah. I'll max Slingshot eventually, but I don't plan on ever maxing Killshot. There's really no reason to. It's not even about effectiveness. I mean, the reason I didn't upgrade it to begin with was because it was super OP a long time ago. But it hasn't been OP in a long time. But people still will lose their minds anytime I tell them that I don't like Killshot. And for me, that is reason enough to not upgrade it. Freaking cult mentality with that mech, my dude. Wild. Of course, he's got Surge with Stormrack for whatever reason. I mean, of course, good mech plus good weapon equals good results. It's not like the game's that complicated, but my man hit like none of his shots. That's wild. What happened, pal? He was just like, nah, I'm not having it. Hey! Piece of crap. Stealing my kills, bro. Escape below. There we go. Where is... oh... This guy... Let me just... I swear if that kill gets stolen, okay. There we go. No. It's fine. No. Stop that. Nope, I'm cooked. Okay. Damn it. $20k subs equals Killshot max. I don't know why I would do that. Oh. I thought maybe it would go over this thing. Seems weird that it didn't. Stop it. Do you guys think Revoker will be nerfed? Well, here's the thing. Anytime something that's good comes free to play, everyone thinks it's going to be nerfed. So I guess it doesn't really matter what I think. It's just a matter of just like everyone's going to insist that it will happen. Just please max it. Why? I don't... Wait, why do you... why do you care so much? You still think Minigun's better for Eclipse? Minigun is better for Eclipse in CPC. Revoker's better for Eclipse if you're doing like 2v2 or free-for-all or something like that. Because you maxed it? Oh, well then, cool. Then you don't need me to max it. You can just use it yourself. Good for you. Alright. I'm gonna keep the Revoker range on here, yeah. Why not? Why not? Yeah. So the stream description, it says master database. That's the link to a thing where I get a lot of my info from there. So you can get costs per upgrade. You can get costs of every mech and weapon. There's even a thing there that shows the order that items were released. That's how I knew that Revoker was going to be the next weapon that was going to be released. Why'd you max Puma? Because it's funny. Killshot's not funny. Killshot's super lame, and people... the fact that people are still so upset that I didn't max Killshot is in itself an incredibly good reason for me to not max Killshot. By the way, I'm not really even going to try to get 15 kills with anything if there's no player on the other team. This is just bots, so like I legit don't care. Slingshot's better than Killshot anyway. It's very true. Truer words have never been spoken. Should I Revoker 6 or save up for 10? Should you Revoker 6? I mean, it really depends on where you're at in the game. The answer is not the same for everyone, which is crazy, I know. There is not one clear answer that applies to everyone at every stage of the game. I almost freaking died. I'm just gonna keep healing myself. I need to. Yeah, I wasn't able to actually heal him, but whatever. Don't really care. Chungus. Hey! Hey! Brother, you deserve that. There you go. Ouch. Come on. Come on. There you go. I'll just heal myself, I don't care. You're gonna find me? And do what? Run at me with your loser kill shot? Freaking nothing, that's what you're gonna do. You have to max out kill shot or else I'm gonna bust the vessel. So it's exactly the kind of attitude that I think is super weird and it makes me not want to max out kill shot. The teachers are bugged when bots use them. They deal the extra damage even if I have Galvanical. It might be... I think you can deal the extra damage as piercing damage. So if it hits a shield, then the extra damage won't get absorbed into Galvanical, because the order of operations is like shields and then Galvanic, right? So if it hits the shield first, anything that makes it through the shield is not considered bonus damage. It's all lumped into one number, which is considered piercing damage. So when it hits the shield, there's a lot of bonus damage, but it's not considered bonus damage when it pierces through and actually hits the mech. So if that's what's happening, then I think that's why. Otherwise, yeah, probably, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bug. How do you know when you're playing against bots? Just the names. I recognize the bot names at this point. Oh, that's a cool skin. Wait a second. Is that the one that we got recently? Or is that a different one? It looks cooler in that picture. Revokers will get nerfed, yeah. You being the expert on the subject, I'm glad I could get your input on that, yeah. So this is why I say, like, I'm not even going to bother saying anything, because regardless of what I say, people are going to insist that it's going to get nerfed, even though it's been how long since Stormrack became free-to-play? For free-to-play players, Stormrack is arguably the better weapon, I'm not even going to lie. Revokers are only good... Like, Revokers are primarily good against heavily modded enemies, but, like, if you're a free-to-play player and the enemy is a pay-to-win player and they spend a lot of money and they have a lot stronger mods than you, you're gonna lose anyway. Doesn't matter how good you are at the game. You're gonna lose because primarily Revokers are really good against multi-layered mods. So, like, Revokers aren't gonna help you that much. I mean, they're good, but they're not going to help you beat pay-to-win players, is what I'm saying. So ultimately, Stormrack's just a better weapon, I would say. They're going to nerf autocannon so pay-to-win, bro. It's so pay-to-win that everyone has it. Literally everybody gets it, even the free-to-play players. The players that think they're free to play, but they're actually pay to win because they have autocannon. Okay, let me try something that isn't a light mech. Like you. Because I do have the range implant on here. Very cool, very cool. I'm tempted to get rid of the Revoker range in favor of ability duration, actually. Might be a bad idea. But I think it's fine. At full HP plus Galvanical and no shield mods, I get one shot by touch or bots with their fourth shot. Yeah, skill issue. I agree with Siva. Tic Tac do so. Yes, I agree. We've all been pay to win all this time. Yep. Absolutely, bro. Revokers only. There aren't enough Revokers to do a Revoker only hanger. I mean, there's a player, but this is kind of a crappy amount. Have you ever experienced your gameplay tank when you start winning? I assume by that you mean you lose one match if you start winning a bunch of matches in a row. And I mean, this might sound obvious, but like, okay, if you're winning a bunch of matches in a row, there are two options, right? There are two possible things that could happen. Either A, you lose a match, or B, you just keep winning and you never lose ever. Which one do you think is gonna happen? Like, actually. Like, yeah, if you're winning a bunch of matches, the only thing that could possibly happen is that you eventually lose a match. That is kind of how it works. And I feel like it shouldn't be surprising, but it is to a lot of people. Or Revoker's good, the 6s. Revokers are good. I don't know if the 6s are specifically good. I mean, they probably are. They're probably worth getting, yeah. The 6 and the 10. It'd be a good idea to get both the 6 and the 10. That's a Bastion, isn't it? Bro, I hate Bastion bots. They're everywhere. Why do you have Strike Rocket? I kind of forgot that there was a player on the other team, actually. What are you doing, pal? I only have 5 kills. There's no chance that I get 15. I'm not really sure. I'm just gonna kind of go over here, I guess. Oh, he's the last guy alive. That's great. Never mind. Brother. Damn it! Oh, I almost stole that kill. Actually, wait. He might have been too far away anyway. Bye-bye. What did he what did he get absolutely domed by? Oh, he had a minigun each. This is cool. You don't like Bastion bots. They're coarse and rough and irritating and they get everywhere. Very true. No, but like real talk, I swear the bots are purposely given just like the most annoying mechs possible. Like why do bots have bastions? Like every single bot has a bastion. You know, you realize like Bastion is just a you can't come towards me mech, right? Which is like on its own, it's not a big deal to deal with. It's like it's not that hard to take care of one, but when everybody has one, when there's like 3 of them, it's pretty difficult to deal with it unless you're using an Eclipse, which of course, you know, most people do, but I don't want to only use Eclipse as the only mech that I ever use. Is Ember and Revoker hybrid good? Yeah. It won't get through multi-layered shields as well, but overall it is pretty good. Wondering if Revoker will be best for Surge. I mean, yeah, it usually is. Solo spots are awful, yeah, I agree. And they always have the ability range. Yeah, it's so true, bro. So true. But also, yeah, like Janitor said, the Solus bots are everywhere. The what are the Hemlock bots are? You just saw Hemlocks in that match. There's Hemlock bots everywhere. They always have Hemlock for whatever damn reason. What's another one? I feel like the most common ones for them to have are Bastion and Hemlock. Super annoying, dude. I mean, not even just to mention the fact that EMP type abilities are super stupid and really annoying to begin with, but three Bastions can tear up an Eclipse easily. It's kind of true. J Green 011. Should have been 211. Stop, Gilb. Yeah, if that continued, I was about to time him out. Random letter spam is not super appreciated. Stop. Stop. Okay. Brother! And of course I'm gonna freaking die, yeah. God, I do not like this game. I want everyone to understand. I don't enjoy this game. I play it because everybody else enjoys me playing it. I'm not gonna play this game for that much longer. I can already tell, bro. This game's so stupid. They make the dumbest freaking decisions. Like, it's not enjoyable. It just exists to be frustrating. What's the best mod defense against Revoker? Perimeter multilayer, as it's the best defense against everything. Because why have options when you could just use the exact same thing against everything and it'd just be the most OP? Mech Arena logic. Yeah. I see her. My only joy comes from Gemini. Like, I swear to you. My only joy in this game comes from Gemini. It is really funny. Hate camping players who get good bots and win. Feels so shallow. The thing is, like, I really still believe that players who camp will just by default get better bots. I think bots will be more aggressive if they see that you're being less aggressive. That's the general pattern that I've found. Which is very annoying, ultimately. But, you know, between the two, I'd rather him be passive with a Helix build. You know, like, if we're going to be fair about it, I'd rather him be passive with a Helix build than be up in my face with a Revoker Surge. Which he probably will be in a minute. Oh. Wow. He has a mortar weapon. That's kind of interesting. Cool. If the parasite problem doesn't get fixed, I'm gonna head out. As in the parasite locking onto Eclipse. That bug should have been dealt with. Or do you just mean parasites in, like, the bots having parasites, just in general? I'm not sure which one you mean. Why not switch to War Robots Frontiers and play Mech Arena when there's a new event or something? That's pretty much what I'm doing. Yeah, why do you... I'm streaming now, not because, like, there's really much to do. Most of the reason I'm streaming, actually, is because I want to get... there's, like, a challenge that the devs gave me to get 15 kills with a Revoker build in one match. And I was trying to use some, like, more interesting mechs, but I think ultimately I should probably go with something that at least has some type of protection, or something that I at least have a good multi-layered shield on. To be fair, I could use Parasite. Parasite's funny. I like Parasite. Ooh. I'm gonna use Mimicker, because actually I think Revoker Mimicker is actually really underrated. I think it's actually pretty darn good. Surge with Revoker 10 or Eclipse with Revoker 10. The only reason Eclipse with Revoker works is... well, the only way that it works is if the enemy doesn't have Revoker, or if your multi-layered shield mod is as good or better than the enemy's, right? Because Eclipse doesn't have anything that helps it get close quarters kills. It doesn't. It has an ability that keeps it from... It keeps other mechs from gaining an advantage, but ultimately it just kind of is what it is, right? It's basically the same as if nobody used their ability, which is not super beneficial. I'm trying to make you like think through it, but ultimately I know that you just want a yes or no answer essentially. So let's go with Surge. Nobody cares about the freaking... I don't even know why I bother explaining things, bro. Feeling the pain of no more premium in Frontiers lately. Only 3 dailies and 2 weeklies. What is this crap, bro? I know, and I'm only getting like 130 credits per match. All right, let's go. Pablo. Hello. Let's go. That's interesting. So he has a... what the... okay. I didn't think he'd get me with that, but that's... yep, fair enough. Should have known. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I definitely don't have the range for that. Excuse me? Okay. Bro, get this freaking mod thing out of my face. I can't see anything, dude. Like, the icon is freaking massive. Like, literally, I'm looking down here, literally the only thing I see are pilot icons and mod icons. Uh-oh. Oh, I took a lot of damage there. That's not good. Hold on. Yeah, classic. Mess some up, bro. Bye-bye. Oh, right. Oh my god, I have a source. Why not try to unlock Revokers on your free-to-play account? Okay, give me a reason why that would be even remotely interesting. Stormwreck's a better weapon for free-to-play players. Well, especially low SP players. There are two types of enemies I could fight. Technically 3, but we're not going to count the 3rd. Well, I mean, I'll mention the 3rd just for the sake of argument. There are 3 different types of enemies I could fight. Ones that are really easy, in which case I don't really care what I have. Ones that are about on par with what I have, right? In which case Stormwreck should do fine. And ones that are very strong and have like their stuff is really strong, and I'm a lot weaker than them. In the case of the really easy ones, doesn't matter what I have. In the case of the equal power ones, again, it doesn't really matter what I have. Revoker being there or not being there is just kind of whatever. And in the case of stronger enemies, Revoker's not going to help. Like, unless I put it on what's its face? Zephyr, maybe. Zephyr is maybe the only mech that could get use out of a Revoker. Because otherwise it's just like, okay, well, what do they have? They have mod shields. They have strong mod shields, in which case I'm cooked, right? Regardless. Their stuff is stronger than mine. I can't tank their DPS. So the only thing that I can do realistically is to outplay them at range, use radius like Stormwreck or something like that. You're not going to outplay somebody with Revokers. It's just a fist fight of who has the stronger stuff. That's what Revokers are. You're getting out of here? Okay, bye. There's very little difference between Revoker 10s and 12s, yeah. Yeah, this is true. In fact, because of that, it's actually worth running double 10s rather than a double 10. Excuse me. Double 10 is better than a 16 and 8. And the reason is because if you're fighting, let's say, on a maxed mech, right? Like against maxed enemies, right? And the reason is because if you're fighting somebody with a permanent multi-layer shield, the Revoker 8 is not strong enough to by itself take down a single layer. The 10s are, and that's really the only thing that you need. But since the 8 isn't, that means that you're relying solely on the 16 to get through the multi-layers, and so it just takes you twice as long. Not to get the kill in general, like it'll kill the HP quicker, but it'll take twice as long to get the shield down because the 8 isn't capable of taking down an individual layer. So 16 and 8 build isn't a good idea. Double 10 is actually better than 16 and 8. But if you're like low SP, like, I don't know, even like 5k, a 6 and 10 is probably a good idea. Put Revoker 6 on Zephyr, Guardian, or Ares. Probably Zephyr, I guess. Maybe, I mean, depending on the enemies that you fight, you could maybe get away with doing Guardian, but I'm not so sure about that. Are you sad? Well, I'm not happy, that's for darn sure. I'm really pissed off because I was trying to do something. Oh, wait, this guy. Okay, cool. I was trying to make a different video, and I've spent spent basically all of yesterday, like all of my free time yesterday, trying to figure out why the hell every time I render it, the footage is corrupted. Bro thinks he's him. Yeah, get out of here, idiot. Yeah, I really wasn't impressed, okay. Oh, he's already here. Yeah. Bro, can't be him if RuFFles is him. Oh, I'm not him. That's for sure. I have never been him. Yes, I do find it interesting, the number of people who, like... The number of people who think that I'm a good player and the number of people who think that I think I'm a good player. I am straight average, my man. I don't even use good stuff. I'm so proud of his ability to walk into enemy fire with an Eclipse and have 0 consequence. It's really inspiring. It makes me want to run nothing but meta. I'm just kidding, it doesn't. Is that a surge? Get a life, dude. Get a freaking life. Okay, bye. Do you do VODs? What do you mean? Bruh. Oh, Sanjay, much appreciated, sir. Oh wait, that was him? He had the Onyx? That's weird. It's kind of too late. Stalker's worth leveling? No. Streaming your day? Nah. I don't do anything interesting. Certainly nothing worth streaming. You're better than average? With the stuff that I use, sure. I'm a jack of all trades. Most people put all of their effort and time into just the meta stuff. I am moderately good at everything, and that is the only skill that I have in this game, anyway. Revokers on surgery clips. Surge. I could explain why. I want to. I want to explain what makes one thing better and one thing worse, or the reasoning behind why I say one thing over another. But at the end of the day, nobody gives a crap, bro. Like, literally somebody else just... It might have even been you earlier, and you just weren't paying attention. Somebody else asked the exact same thing. I spent a solid 5 minutes explaining the nuances as to why Surge is better than Eclipse. And then afterwards he's like, so what you're saying is Surge, question mark? It's like, bro, you really just want me to just absolutely spell it out for you, don't you? Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean to people, but at the same time, it's like, bro, come on. Like, people don't want to think about this stuff. They just want to be told what to do. I'm actually going to keep you alive. Hold on. No, I'm cooked. Do you enjoy streaming Frontiers? Yeah, I haven't streamed it much. But it's fun. I enjoy playing Frontiers. Oh, really? You have 7,500 SP hanger. Will unlocking Revoker 10 help you? Well, would it help somebody who's lower SP? Let's think through this. Let's think through this. I don't even know why I bother. Well, let's think through this, okay? Would it help somebody who had a lower SP than you? Yes or no, and why? Or at least do you think it would, right? You don't have to necessarily know 100% for fact. But do you think it would help somebody who had lower SP than you? Come on. Gemini is so funny, bro. As you mentioned before, Revoker 10s are better than 16 and 8. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it will help them. Okay. Would it help somebody who is stronger than you? Are Revoker 10s... Would Revoker 10s be good at max level, let's say? Somebody who's a hanger that's stronger than yours. As Mimicker just said, yes, I did earlier say that double 10s are better than a 16 and 8 on a maxed mech. Only if it's double. Okay. So, would it then be worthwhile to get at an SP that's in between? So if it's useful for weaker people, and it's useful for stronger people, do you think it would be useful for somebody who's in the middle? And more specifically, why would you think that it wouldn't? Yes, exactly. There we go. I cannot think of a single reason as to why Revoker wouldn't be worth getting. Revoker 10 specifically. I'll deal with that later. Particle beam is not good, no. Don't get particle beam. All of your servers are Revokers. Yeah, I mean, give it like a week. It's his first day, right? Not even trying. I mean, you can... If you really want to get it, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to play or how to... Like, I'm not going to tell you what to get unless you, like, specifically ask me for advice, right? You can do what you want. You can get what you want. You can use what you want. You can play how you want. I legitimately do not care. But there are much better options than Particle Beam. So, if you're asking me, which you were asking me whether or not it would be a good weapon to get, my answer is no. You can choose to ignore that, but that is my answer. To make a good hanger, get Revoker, and pretty much as many legendary scouts as your bank account can afford. Let me see if I can heal from this guy first, and then kill him. Really? Okay, fine. Stop! Oh my. That wasn't good. That was a bad idea. He's gonna dash at that guy. Bleh. I have 9. I could maybe even get 15. Just in this match. There's no player, but I'm not sure I care that much. Like, it's not like I'd be killing a player 15 times with this anyway. Like, if there was a player, I'd have to avoid them in order to get the bots, in order to get the 15 kills. And I kind of already know that, so... Oh, really? Watch, this is the last enemy. Yeah, caught it. Why isn't Soulless Blind affecting you? I don't know, it seemed to, like, wear off immediately. I noticed that, but I didn't want to say anything, because I felt like I would jinx it. You should stream more Frontiers. I tried to the other day, but for whatever reason, my mic audio was not working on Twitch, and I could not tell you why. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfectly fine here, right? I don't understand what's happening. And the Streamlabs was fine. Like, it was working on Streamlabs. I was able to record stuff. But, yeah, now Scape stopped by, and he mentioned that the audio wasn't working. I was like, wait, what? I couldn't figure out what the hell the problem was. Should you get Revoker 12 as a second Revoker build on Nomad, or should I just save up? In case Late Swing and Deathwalker Equine crate appears. Well, I mean, like, you don't really need 2 Revoker builds, right? I assume you already got the 10. The 10's probably the only one that you need, at least for now. maybe when they die, the ability that doesn't stops affecting it. It's actually it's a good it's a good thought. It's very possible. It's very possible. All right, let me think here. Could do what bots do and use Bastion. I'm gonna do Vortex. No, wait. Vortex. And instead of range, I'm gonna do ability damage here. You're gonna do your own thing? Okay. Bye-bye. No one expected Revokers would be available in Gear Hub. Well, I did. They made Stormrack available. I don't know why they wouldn't do Revoker. These are the same people that are insisting that it's gonna get nerfed. It's like they just can't let something be. They have to complain. Like, brother, if you're gonna complain about something, at least complain about something legitimate. There's plenty of things to complain about. I'm over here complaining. There's plenty of things to complain about. But why you have to complain about something that isn't even a problem? It legitimately, it makes the devs think that you're just being petty, and it makes them not want to listen to you. Why in the world would they listen to your complaints if you're only gonna complain about stupid stuff that isn't actually true? Hell, I have a lot of complaints that I make, but I don't take most people's complaints seriously. Because again, half the stuff they complain about is BS. I'm so upset because they're gonna nerf Revoker soon. It's like, no, they're freaking not, bro. They never said that. I'm so upset because they're never gonna make Revoker for free-to-play. Because if they did, then this, that, and the other thing, and I know this because I'm a game developer, whatever, I don't know, bro. And yeah, there's always going to be those people, but it's just wild that anybody even listens to them. How much does 12 and 16 cost? They cost the same amount, I think, for whatever reason. Which is the same amount that 16s you normally cost, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm dead. Even if they nerf Revokers tomorrow, it's not going to make all those who guessed it right. That is a fair point. This is a fair argument to make. I mean, I would personally say that it kind of would make them right, but not to an extent that I had any reason to believe them, right? Like, it would make them right, but it wouldn't make them right for believing it in the first place. It'd make their conclusion right. But that's it. Seems like you hate Revoker. I mean, it's a dumb weapon. It's not fun. It's disgustingly OP. I'm not sure why I would like it. It's one of the most brain-dead weapons. I mean, like I said before, like, let's hypothesize, right? Like, a free-to-play versus pay-to-win scenario. There's, like, it does not matter about skill. Revoker does not care about your skill. It's purely just a who has better mods and who has more HP. That's the only thing Revoker cares about. Should a free-to-play player buy them? Yeah, I mean, they're really, like, they're stupidly OP. But they're not gonna win you every match. You're not gonna beat a pay-to-win player because you had, like, in a Revoker fight, right? Like, if you both have Revoker, you're not going to win. Because more than likely, theirs are higher level. Even if you were completely on equal terms, theirs are probably higher level. Their mechs are probably higher level. They probably have multi-layered mods if you don't, and if both of you do, then theirs are probably higher level. In all of those situations, you just lose a Revoker duel. I mean, put on Surge specifically. Yes, you can get a lot done with that. In that case, you can outplay them with the Surge rather than just trying to outplay them with Revoker. But that's why I was saying Surge is better than Eclipse in terms of, especially free-to-play players. Like, don't put it on Eclipse, because then it's just like you hammering them with your Revokers, while they're hammering you with their Revokers. You're gonna lose that. You are gonna lose that. The only way that you win against a pay-to-win player, like I was saying, is if you have some ability like Surge to stop them from being able to fire back. You weren't around during Disc Launcher era? Oh, good for you, honestly. Mechmania, hello. Oh, there's a player. Let's see. If Hartman. If W. Hartman. What's better, Revoker or Stormrack? I'd say Stormrack. I mean, it's good to have both. Especially on something like Surge, like I said, but personally, Stormrack is going to do more for you. Personally, I think Stormrack is going to do more for you. Not like personally it will. Alright, come on. Very cool. Why does he have a blockade on that? Seems weird. What a nerd. Now I'll just spend my time freaking messing them up. Freaking shafting this fool. Don't get hit. He almost got it, bro. Is there somebody coming up that side? I don't know. Can't tell. Oh, really? This entire time he was a mimicker. Is that a mimicker? Yeah, I think so. I was gonna say, that's weird. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bro, it's what you get. You shouldn't have came after me with the Surge, dude. Excuse you. Yo, that's him, bro. That is him. That's wild. He has that thing? Oh yeah, it sucks. Railgun, cool. Drunk Geminis, real. Hopefully your power holds up, that's true. What's the most fun mech? I don't know. I feel like a lot of mechs can be fun if you give them a fun weapon. Very few mechs are fun if you give them lame weapons. You know what's interesting? Let's see how dead you are. Dreadnought is stupidly OP. It's really not. I mean, lower SPs, yes. At my SP, it's not. It's not even that good. It's pretty good. It's almost. It's pretty close to being meta, but it's not actually meta. How well does Particle Beam do against mods? Better than some other things, but not super well. Fragment Gun 14 Redux. I remember that. That was a sad time. It was a sad time. You can imagine Lacewing being fun to play. Lacewing is fun until you realize that it's just so easy and impossible to kill. Like, it is one of the easiest mechs to get good kills with. Oh, that's right, I have redirection damage. Frick it, yeah, let's go. Let's upgrade that. Cryo Launcher Arachnos, oh yeah, OP. You tried Stormrack on Aegis? It's only good if you have the reload implant. Because otherwise you're firing one salvo through your entire shield duration, right? Which is kind of a waste. I hate this map, bro. Why does it have to be this map? They still haven't introduced tier 9 weapons? Yeah, because what are they going to put there? He has stasis beam, bruh. No. Ow. Jeez. I'm freaking cooked, bro. I'm gonna. Yep, of course. You instantly modded it out as soon as you got it. Fair enough. Aegis is fun. Aegis is a good mech. I'll probably keep it long term on my free-to-play account. I don't really have any reason not to. That was one of the only metas that I actually thought was fun, the Aegis meta. It was actually kind of entertaining. I mean, yeah, it was annoying. I mean, every meta's going to be a little bit annoying, but like, it was actually kind of entertaining. Bro. If you want to have more than one Revoker build, I wouldn't recommend using 16 and 8, because the 8 costs 7k coins. I mean, yeah, if you want to use 2 Revoker builds, then do double 12s and double 10s. I'm cooked, bro. Wait, really? Oh, come on. When are you gonna make your Tetra rifle video? Which one? Oh, yeah, that's right. I had that. I think I still have the footage somewhere. I have a lot of videos that I kind of just stopped working on because I forgot about them, or I just don't think that they're very relevant anymore. The Aegis meta made the team play much cooler and important. That's actually kind of true, yeah. Too many of the metas are just based on, like, how much can you just aggro the enemy. And it didn't really matter about team play, it mostly just mattered about individual performance and which, like, mechs and weapons you had. Just about the time and sometimes the drive to make them, yeah. That's true, that's true. I mean, at this point... At this point, it's like, I don't really want to make Mech Arena videos most of the time. I don't find the game to be super entertaining anymore. But it just gets more and more frustrating the more I play it, bro. So, like, at this point, most of my video ideas, I'm mostly just thinking of, like, okay, how many views is this gonna get, right? It's gotta be worth my time. Because it used to just be that I'd just make whatever that I thought was interesting. And I'd have a lot of ideas. I would usually have quite a few ideas that I knew were going to get a lot of views. Like, there's still some I have like, I don't know, at least 5 written down. Video ideas, I know that they'd get a lot of views. I know that they would, but I don't really want to. I don't really care that much, and I don't really want to make them. So I've always prioritized the stuff that I knew, or the stuff that I actually thought was interesting. But nowadays, I don't really even think that much is interesting anymore. I was like, what do I even think is interesting? And it's frustrating even just to play this game sometimes, especially with all the bots. Like, you'd be lucky if you get a player. And when you do get a player, it's some freaking tryhard with 16 Revoker builds. It's like, come on, bro. So, like, I don't even know why... Like, at that point, it's like, why even bother? If I'm gonna make a video, it may as well be something that I know is gonna get a lot of views. Arachnid hanger. See, that would have been a cool idea, like, just for, like, one of the random challenge videos that I did with, like, Sentry. But now, I'd have to do it by myself at this point. And that's kind of lame. And I wouldn't even have that much fun recording it or editing it, if that were the case. So at that point, it's like, why even bother? I know that that's not going to get a lot of views. Let's... Hello. He offs himself. I should have. Nah, I shouldn't have gone for it. I was indecisive.
game is only fun with friends. This is kind of true. It's kind of true. And I think a lot of the people, like... I think a lot of people forget to have fun. You know? Like, they're not playing the game for enjoyment anymore. They're just so into the grind that they're playing the game to get better stuff. So that they can win more matches. So that they can get better stuff. So that they can get more resources. So that they can get better stuff. It's like they exist for the grind, just because like they forgot the whole point of even playing the game to begin with. And I swear most of the people aren't even having fun while they're doing it. They're just grinding for the sake of grinding because they feel like they have to. It's getting sadder and sadder. It's just getting more boring. Like, it's not interesting. And they keep making a lot of decisions that are just, like, obviously not going to be beneficial. Yeah, no, that's fair. Ember Gun Deathwalker, don't see that very often. Ow. Maybe I can kill him with that DOT? No. Oh, I still had one more shot in the chamber. I forgot about it. Didn't even realize. Okay. Is it literally just... Oh, no, they spawned back. I think the player was out, it was just bots. Oh my god, I have Revoker clutch. Everybody's going for meta right now and it's boring, yeah. I mean, it's kind of the game's fault for making the meta so prominent and so boring. And also so grindy. Like, if you're gonna spend hours of your time going for one weapon... I'm not even going to say hours, I'm going to say days. Like, it takes you, like, weeks to get one weapon. What are you going to get? You're going to get something that's funny and sucks? No, you're going to get something that's actually good because you spent that much time on it. So, like, I understand why people do it. I understand. But it is lame. It's incredibly lame, still. It doesn't make it not lame. But yeah. The mods change, messed up a lot of stuff, it really imbalanced things. You know what I think would be an interesting idea? What I think would be an interesting... I can't do customs right now, sorry bro. What I think would be an interesting idea is if... Because one of my major issues was... the energy capacity system in this game. I think it's terrible. The energy capacity system is terrible. Especially the fact that there's only two usable energy capacities, 24 and 32. The only two energy capacities that exist outside of like the very, very early game. Even my free-to-play account, which is like 3k SP, I can't use a 16 energy mech. It's not going to do any good. Like, it just isn't strong enough. So there's two energy capacities that exist. 24 and 32, which really limits your options, right? And that's really bad for like mech balancing, because that means that every 24 energy legendary mech has the abilities and the stats have to perfectly balance each other. They're not going to. It's impossible for that to happen. That's why a lot of games balance it by reducing firepower, right? A lot of games have like different characters have different levels of varying firepower to account for the fact that they're really weak or really strong. But Mech Arena doesn't really have that. There's only 2 different variations in firepower, which is stupid. But anyway, what would be interesting is if the energy capacity, if they gave every mech a specific energy capacity, not all the same one, but if like they gave every mech varying levels of energy capacity higher than like 24 or 32. So like maybe, let's say for example, Parasite has 30 energy capacity, right? But then mods would take up energy capacity as well. So you could either choose to stack damage. I could choose to stack damage on this with weapons and have no mods, or I could choose to even it out with some mods, some firepower, or I could choose to go heavy on the mods and really reduce, really limit my firepower. That's a level of customization that this game does not have. Pilots aren't customizing. Pilots are straight buffs. There's no customization to be had. There are no downsides to any implants. There's no downside to anything that a pilot does. I mean, okay, technically there's some downsides in very specific cases, but it doesn't really matter. We're talking like, you know, using duration on Juggernaut is kind of a bad idea, but that like it doesn't really matter. And take a situation like this. I'm putting Revoker with Parasite. What implants am I going to choose? I just choose all of them. I have cooldown, I have duration, I have Parasite's mech-specific one, and then I still have room for a damage implant for the weapon. The only thing I can't fit on is the Revoker range, which, like, maybe I could put it on. Maybe. That's the only amount of choice that you actually have. That's the only amount of customization that you actually have. There's no level of stacking implants that would create a different playstyle for this build. No level. There's just a good build or weak build with implants. That's it. It's just good or bad, weak or strong. There's no level of using implants to customize the playstyle. And that, I think, should have been the main purpose of pilots. It should have been the main purpose of pilots, was to allow you to customize the playstyle of each individual build that you had. But that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So in terms of pilots, I think the pilot system is crap. I think the mod system is crap. The fact that each mod only applies to the one mech. The multi-layered mods are a good idea, but there's way too many layers and they're way too strong. The blockade was a good idea, but Revoker exists, so there's kind of just no point, and radius weapons are always super meta, so there's kind of no point. I'd say they have to, like, reduce the layers, reduce the HP of specifically the multi-layered ones, and then maybe you'd have more use. Like, the mods are really, well, the slot A mods anyway. The slot A mods are kind of the only ones that you could sort of change around and would alter your ideal playstyle, the build playstyle slightly. But ultimately, it's just like, just get perimeter multi-layer. It's the best one, you know. It's, again, a situation of, like, it's mostly just a good or bad situation, not a varying playstyle situation. And that's what I think. There is no customization in this game. The most amount of customization that you can get is with the skins and paints. Because, like, you can't even use a hybrid build. I can't even use a hybrid build, because that would force me to use more implant slots, I don't have that many implant slots. only have 4. It's enough to fit it's enough to fit as many mech and weapon implants as I really want for one weapon, but if I want to use a hybrid, I'd have to then use implants for that weapon, because that weapon's going to be crap unless you're using implants for it. And you have to make sure it's of the same weapon category as well, because if it's not, then it's going to do even worse. So everything in this game is meant to stack onto itself in the form of power creep, not in the form of customization. There's no customization in this game. Nothing there to choose from, just use the one setup that's the best for every mech. Yeah, exactly. That's the way it is for mods, it's the way it is for pilots and implants, it's the way it is for everything. It's very sad, honestly. It's really unfortunate, because like the game has a lot of potential. It looks really nice. It plays really smoothly on a lot of devices. Like, there's a lot of potential here, but everything is just builds toward power creep, but there's no customization. And that's why I was kind of thinking, like, okay, what if the energy capacity included the mods? Then you could at least have customizable firepower, because clearly the devs are not going to actually... make varying firepower on mechs. But even if they did, you know, it'd be cooler for me to have the option to go full firepower damage on Aegis, or full tankiness and drop my firepower a bit. More than likely, the only thing that, you know, if I were to tell them about this, or if they were to see this, more than likely the only thing that would happen is they put a freaking limit on the number of mods that you can equip, and that's literally just it. And then there's just a mod meta as to, like, oh, you know, you can... It's so bad, bro. It's so bad. Nothing... Like, most mechs exist for a single weapon, too. It's like, it's... Like, if you put a build, right? If you have a current build, there's, like, one set of implants that works good. For example, this one. Outside of the dome shield radius, this is the only build that I can possibly have. These are all of the implants that I could possibly use outside of the dome shield radius, which is random and doesn't really help or hurt me in any way. It's the only one. But what was I going to say? Yeah, like, just taking this build as it is, there's one set of implants that's going to do well. There's one set of mods that's going to do well. Or at least there's one set of mods that's going to do the best, I should say. But even just the mechs in general, just looking at the mechs themselves, there's only like 1 or 2 weapons that even works good on the mech, right? Like, I can't even... This isn't a competitive build, right? Like, I couldn't make this be super strong. I couldn't use whatever I wanted on Aegis, because it's meant specifically for the 2 or 3 weapons that it works well with. Like, each, for as few options as you have for good pilot builds, mod builds, there's very few options just for regular mech builds. And that's just very, very sad. RuFFles Mech Arena rant, yeah. I mean, who knows? I might even clip that out and just upload it regularly. The devs should hear it. The devs need to hear it. But at the same time, like, will they? I don't know. How many things have I told to... Because we have a specific contact inside Plarium. how many things have I said to them, especially in regard to, like, mech balance, weapon balance, all of these things, old weapons being really garbage, some of these other weapons being, even some of the newer ones being really garbage. They need a buff. And then when I talked to Pasha in that interview, I'm like, well, why don't you just, like, buff the old stuff? And he's like, oh, well, we never thought about that. Like, really? Nobody suggested, after the hundreds of times of me saying that all these old weapons need a buff, nobody suggested to you that maybe some of these old weapons need a buff. Just goes to show that they're not, like... Just because I tell them something doesn't mean that they do anything about it. Okay, I got 4. Maybe I can get 15 at this. We'll find out. Aegis is, I think, a pretty good one, because I can keep myself safe. And that is the most important aspect. Ow. I didn't realize that I was inside the dome enough for him to shoot me. That's my bad. Ow. Frick off, you can't even see me. It's another thing, I'm freaking... bugs the crap out of me, dude. 7. If I get one more random Scorpius spot, it's kind of over for me, though. No, I'm cooked. You should just make a 12-hour video where you say yes or no in random intervals so people don't need to ask you every time they make a decision. See, the thing is like... What bothers me the most is that, first off, my personal philosophy is that if you can't explain why you think something, then nobody has any reason to actually, like, listen to you. Sure, you can share your opinion, but it's just an opinion. Nobody has any... No one should take your word for it or something, right? I understand some people don't always need a full response, a full breakdown of the reason you think X, Y, or Z. But myself personally, I don't think people should just take advice from someone just because they said something. It's like, oh, this guy is high SP. You know how many people will give you really, really terrible advice? The number of people, even if they're high SP, or even if they're low SP, but they claim to be high SP, so you just take their word for it. Everyone has an opinion, and most people will not tell you that it's just their opinion. Most people will just tell you, yeah, no, absolutely. A bot killed me with this weapon a couple times. It's gotta be OP. Like, why are you even asking? So, like, one thing that... Oh, that's annoying. I guess it doesn't really matter, though, right? One thing that I do that I've noticed pretty much nobody else does is I actually explain myself. And I think that's part of the reason that people that will take my advice. But what's annoying is that people don't... You know, I'm now at this point, I'm just known as the person who gives advice. And I was okay giving advice so long as I could adequately explain myself. But now I'm just known as the guy who gives advice. And now everybody wants advice, but they don't want to hear my reasoning. It's like, just tell me yes or no. Like, this thing or this thing. Tell me which one. And then I tell them which one. They're like, okay. Okay, now this thing or this thing. And they basically want me to run a tier list on stream, one weapon at a time. Yeah, maybe it is when they die. And that's really what bothers me. It's not the fact that people are asking for advice. It's the fact that nobody's actually listening. They just want a really, really absolute, simplest, bare bones answer. Yes or no. type thing. And even if I explain myself 5 seconds later, there's going to be somebody else, or even just the same person who's like, okay, but what about this? Even though I just explained to them like how it works. Please don't. No, okay, no, it's just the blind is broken. Because he didn't die, see? I'm cooked. Yeah. Dreadnought's just Bastion with a Nomad that does not dash. What exactly is a Nomad outside of the dash? Do you mention Nomad just because it deals damage? Because you know Bastion deals damage too. It's even Setters. Despite you giving your advice and explanation, people will sometimes still do the opposite for personal reasons. I mean, if they don't think I've adequately explained myself, or if I haven't sold them on X, Y, or Z, that's fine. I don't care. And I think sometimes people sort of overestimate how personally invested I am in their decisions. I do not care what you do. You could spend 8 months grinding 8 coins and then waste all of it on something really stupid. That's not my problem. Because I'll tell you what I think is good and what I think is bad. And if you choose to not do that, that's literally on you, and I don't care. Then again, you think it might just be because the game has a young audience. I mean, maybe, but, you know. Still no reason to not be annoyed at it. And I don't like understanding, like I can understand why people might do one thing or another, but just understanding it doesn't excuse it, right? Understanding isn't justifying. It's not the same thing. But I also don't want to encourage people to just completely throw reasoning out the window and just be like, okay, wait, just tell me the answer and I'll just do whatever you say. Like, I don't want to encourage people to do that. And that's why it's annoying for me personally to be the information guy. Because I don't want to just tell people, do this, do that, and then not give an explanation. Some people are okay. Some people are okay with that. Some people don't care. But that's not for me. Old game had an energy triangle. Futuristic tank had an energy triangle where you could allocate between attack, defense, or speed. Oh yeah, there's like there's other games that have like, as opposed to an ability with a set duration and a set cooldown, just an ability that basically just like transforms you between 2 different modes, and you can use whichever mode is better. Mimicker sort of gets close to that, but it still has a set duration and cooldown. So it's just like, you know, you spam the ability as often as possible, you're going to be at a net benefit. What I like about like changing modes is that there's like pros and cons to each one. You could choose which one's best fit for the situation. Like Stalker. Stalker is the only mech that actually has a downside with the ability. You take more damage when you're using the ability. It's the only one. And that I think is cool. After I left, they likely started asking you those questions even more, yeah. Well, I don't blame you. It's just like, it's wild to me that nobody else, like, nobody else is willing to give good information. And the people who are willing to give information don't usually know what they're talking about. Like, most of the guides and tutorials, there's stuff in there that I'm just like, what the hell? You know, some of them are fine, but like a lot of them, it's just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Outside of the really, really basic stuff, like, very few people are willing to actually give information. And even fewer of them who actually know what they're talking about are willing to actually give information or give advice on anything. That's why everybody comes to me, because nobody else is going to say anything. It's like, I understand it, but again, understanding isn't the same as justifying. I also think it's weird to ask questions when you get the chance for a live conversation and expect an answer when they could have just got an answer they could have gotten. Bro, I can't read just by doing 3 minutes of research themselves. This is true, but again, I think it goes back to like the fact that it's like they don't want an explanation. They don't want to watch a 5-minute video as to like whether or not like explaining the difference between the minigun damage and recoil implants. They just want you to tell them which implants are good. All of them? Okay. Like they just super simple. That's all they want. And it goes back to like, you know, they don't really care about an explanation. They just want somebody who's moderately experienced to just tell them what's up. And I can understand that. And even most of the time, I don't have a problem answering those questions. What I have a problem with is when people ask those questions and then I explain my reasoning as to like why one thing's better than the other. And then they either weren't paying attention and then they ask the exact same question all over again. Or they're like, well, so what are you saying? You're saying this thing's better? It's like, I just spent how long explaining to you which one was better? And you weren't even, like... They either didn't hear me at all, or they just weren't really paying attention to what I was trying to say. Ow. Wait, why couldn't I move? It was weird. Like, I was stuck. Oh, let's go 3 in a row. I almost got 3 with the ability, but no. Tried to join a custom and got 3 FPS. That's crazy. You're relatively new, only a few months in. Thanks for the content spent, greatly appreciated. Well, I'm glad you like it. And I'm glad to help for the most part. Like, I never asked to be the info guy, but for the most part, I'm glad to help people out. It's just particularly frustrating when I'm trying to explain some, like, the nuances to people, try to explain different things. But they're just not paying attention. They just want a yes or no answer, especially to questions that don't have yes or no answers. Like, like you ask me, okay, when's the best time to get a legendary pilot? There's no answer to that. There is no one best time to get a legendary pilot. But people refuse to take that answer. They won't. They're like, well, so should I just get one now? Like, I don't know. It's up to you. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's all kinds of questions. There's all kind of questions similar to that. It's like they don't have clear-cut answers, but people don't want to accept that. But most of the reason that I explain nuances is so that you don't have to keep coming back. Not that I don't appreciate the views and stuff like that, but like I don't want people to have to rely on my input to make every decision that they have, right? So like my goal when I'm explaining stuff, my goal primarily is to kind of not explain which one's better, but to explain why one is better than the other. Like if there is a good answer as to like which one's better, this or this. Unless it's like super basic and it's just like, you know, Revoker versus Particle Beam. Particle Beam just isn't a very good weapon. This like it doesn't deal that much damage, so it's like it's bad. Get Revoker, right? Like that's a pretty obvious answer. But even then, like I'll tell you why. The reason is because it doesn't do that much damage. But for other things that I explain in more detail, like I'll tell you why one thing is better than the other, and how I come to the conclusion, specifically so that you can come to the conclusion yourself in other, like for any other question that you might have, right? Like my goal is to make sure that you can figure to like kind of not guide you in terms of which thing is better, but guide you in terms of like how to figure out which thing is better so you can figure it out on your own and you don't have to keep relying on my input. Because I'm wrong sometimes. You shouldn't be relying on one person's input for everything. I am 100% wrong sometimes. And so like things should make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, then you probably shouldn't listen to me. But people don't really want that. And it's sad. Would Sentinel Chaingun 10 and 6 be a good build? It probably would be for a little while. It's just a matter of how long would it be a good build for. And I don't think it would be a very good build for very long. Isn't it like that always? People just throwing all nuance out the window and expecting a yes or no to a question that doesn't have one? Yes, that's pretty much the only questions that I get nowadays. I mean, it used to not be like that. It used to be that I would explain all of the nuances, and I would explain why I thought one thing or the other. But yeah, that was before I think before I was officially considered just the info guy, just the guy who's just going to tell you yes or no, right and wrong, this or that for everything. And you know, for all the people who just they can't be bothered thinking about the nuance, I don't care. You should just be like a handful of people who would ask. But they should make a system where you could make your weapon shoot faster and do less damage, or shoot slower and do more damage. That would be interesting. I think most pilot implants... God, I hate this map, dude. In fact, it's all bots. I don't care, bro. I'm gonna try to finish this 15 kills with Revoker. Hopefully without using Surge or Eclipse. I don't want to use those. Those are stupid. Really? And it's this guy. Freaking Granny. Well, I know what he's gonna do. Mech is a good beacon defender endgame. Blockhorn is really solid. Aegis is okay, but it's too easy to just rush in and to like rush inside the dome and kill it. Oh, he almost got me with that. Hello. Okay, just fired both. Damn, bro. He really knows what he's doing with those. Like, he's in the perfect spot to get me. I can't really do anything on that side. I have to just stay on this side. Wonder if I can get him with that, imagine. Oh, no shot. No. What the hell? Oh, okay. Good. Oh, really? Really? I didn't have the range for that? Thought for sure I had the EMP range for that. I even have the implant on. I thought it was like 40 meters. It's fine. Fun to listen to RuFFles' echo chamber. I don't know what that means. Did I miss something else? When I sent all the people who asked anything about Mech to you, I honestly was trying to help for what it's worth. Oh no, I don't. I mean, like I said, I don't mind people asking stuff. For the most part, I'm happy to help. I mean, why would I make guides if I didn't? But it's specifically annoying when people just like clearly aren't paying attention. That's the main thing. It's like I'm trying to explain things in a way that like they can kind of come to the conclusion themselves and they won't have to keep asking me for answers. But they're just like not paying attention. And that's what's frustrating. And also the fact that ow. Oh, okay. There's a Revoker behind me. And also the fact that like I never really wanted to be the information guy to begin with. And even still, like I understand. Nobody else is giving information. Like, where are you gonna go if you need information? Where are you gonna go? Nobody else is giving information. And the ones that do, like, some of it's not very good. Helix kill shot? Nah, it was Scorpius. You like the reload for Gemini, the back winds up? I never really paid much attention to it. Do you have a personal weapon idea or concept? Not really. I think all the ones that I can think of, like people... There's a lot of like basic ones that other people have already brought up before. You just like to listen to people talk about stuff? That's fair. Well, I'll talk about a lot of stuff. That's for sure. Have you broke even or made anything on this channel, or just basically covered what you spent? Sorry if that's too personal. Disregard. I'm just curious. I'd say I more or less broke even. Yeah. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but I would say it's probably pretty close to even. I hate that I'm doing this, but I'm just... I can't be bothered, bro. I can't be bothered. Like, there's just no way to get that many kills with something that isn't horrifically fast. It's not gonna happen. Or just something that's, like, stupidly OP. You just asked ChatGPT and it tells you to use Ares with Plasma Cannon 14. Yeah, I mean, why don't you? You didn't tell me you don't have Plasma Cannon 14? What are you, a freaking noob? Dr. Evil. Evil Doctor. Oh, he's got Eclipse. Of course he does. Boy, oh boy. Yep. Revoker is good stuff. Also, he has Blockade. Why does he have Blockade? Blockade is not a good idea. Oh, I got him. Nice. Still a break even is good. Is even good. This game is expensive. That's true. It's true. I mean, you gotta keep in mind that, like, I get a lot of... I don't spend as much as other people who've gotten to this point. Like, I've spent some earlier on, but, like, I don't spend pretty much anything. Lately, especially. Like, sometimes I get the Battle Pass, and that's about it. But I do spend a lot of time. A lot of time making a lot of videos. Oh, come on, bro. That's just unnecessary. What? I feel like that wasn't right. I wanted him to teleport down there. Might have to be on the ramp or something to do that. Especially those comparison vids. There's some videos that take a really long time, a lot more longer than others, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of videos that I've made that took me, like, I don't know, 18 hours total. Not including, like, you know, it's all the footage that goes into it, but then just, like, I don't know, solid 10 hours of editing. A lot of that, like, I think a lot of people just kind of forget how long it takes, or don't realize how long it takes to make certain kinds of videos, especially. I mean, sure, I don't have to make any of those, but... People grinding weeks on pure hate to get a Revoker they could have bought for an hour of work or less. That is kind of true. That is kind of true, especially, yeah, the grinding on pure hate. It's so real. Like, I can understand why people forget to have fun in this game. It's because everything's so grindy and so expensive. But it is true. It's like a lot of people just forget to have fun. There's like they're so caught up in the grind. Get them before they nerf them. I don't think they're gonna nerf them though. Dr. Evil Perry the Platypus, oh my days. Oh yeah, I would never have a weird name, that's for sure. You'd never see me with a weird name. No, sorry. Just trying to stream, how's your day going? Not very good. I've been having a lot of problems. Not on stream, like, with other stuff. What's the next item for free-to-play? Fuse Mortar, I think. Peter. Vault Blitz made Acorn grind easy. It really didn't. Things just cost less back then. Legendary mechs, I think, cost... Did they cost the same? I don't know. I think weapons cost less, though. It was like 7,500 for a 16 energy, and now it's like... better part of 8,500. He has nade launcher with that? There's also just, like, less stuff to get. Game better do better. Better do better, yeah. No, I agree, I agree. I think if they don't make significant improvements this year, then it's just GG. Like, I can't guarantee that I'll make it to the end of the year, I'm not gonna lie. But... I might. But if I make it to the end of the year and they still don't, like, fix some of the major issues, I'm kind of done, honestly. Do you have a favorite build to play even though it's not competitive? Pretty much anything with Gemini. Any non-meta mech with Gemini. That is a hella fun weapon. Redox cost back then was 8k. Yeah, now it's like better part of 9. Or even... no, it's over 9. It's better part of 10, I think, right? It's like 90-something. The main issue is the meta. I think... Personally, I think the main issue is just the lack of customization. Like, you have... Like, anything that's not meta doesn't work, really. The meta is too prominent, yes, for sure. Well, the biggest issue is the cost, right? The biggest issue is the cost. In terms of, like, gameplay-related issues, I would say the biggest issue is just the fact that, like, there's no customization or variation that you can really have. Like, everything's so stale. Like, you make a build, it's either good or it's bad. There's really no two good ways of making the same build. Or, you know, at least if they are, then they play the exact same, right? Damn it. Come on. I was trying to... Jeez, bro. It took way longer than it should have. Or Peter. Who is it that... I'll have to read that later. Fortune keys. Very cool. I need more fortune keys. I don't. I like how Gemini switches between having 2 of 0, 2 of 1, and 2 of 2 shots. I haven't paid attention to that. Blockhorn is a good beacon defender, but it's not free to play. What else would you recommend? I mean, Aegis is probably the best option that you got otherwise. I mean, outside of... I'm talking like designated beacon defender, because you can defend a beacon with almost anything. So you could technically just do like Nomad or Surge or Eclipse, and that's what most people end up doing. But if you need specifically a designated beacon defender mech, probably Aegis. Bastion's okay, but the duration isn't good enough, I think. You trying to grind and have fun on this game? That's good. 2v2, nice. Vitamin D. And so long as you're having fun, you know, like, can't really fault you for whatever, you know. Some people have a lot of fun using meta stuff. I don't blame them. That's just what some people like. I mean, it's kind of lame to fight a bunch of meta stuff sometimes, but, you know, like, what are you going to do? Well, like, ultimately, I don't blame the people themselves. Okay. Hey. 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 Bro did not know where I was. He was not paying attention. That is any clip with EM rifle. They both had EM rifle? That's weird. See, now I'm the problem. And I feel bad using freaking meta stuff when other people are using things that are actually cool. Oh, freaking triple EMP. That was actually kind of, I'm not gonna lie, that was actually kind of good. That was actually kind of good. Oh, come on, bro. Real talk, why does Surge have the longest EMP duration in the entire damn game? And why is it the only, besides Zephyr, the only EMP mech that's actually able to use a duration implant to extend the already longest EMP duration? Like, is that not the most bullshit thing? Come on. I'll bite your ankles. I'll freaking slowly chip away at you, bro. There. God, I hate these homing weapons, dude. They're so bad. Because it forces you to shoot lower down to the ground than you actually want to. Does Bastion have duration? No, not a duration implant. And if you use a duration implant, then it's not going to do anything. Same thing with Dreadnought. It doesn't have a mech specific one. You can use the arbitrary duration, but it's not going to have any effect. Which is kind of bull. That barrier. Which is kind of bull. It should have the lowest, like Dreadnought, because of its dash. You would think, but no. I mean, between mechs and weapons, the mechs are balanced relatively well, so I don't want to complain too much about it, but still, bro. That guy had a Helix freaking Scorpius. Hemlock stun is longer though. That's true. I did kind of forget about Hemlock, but yeah, it is different. You're right. I mean, Hemlock is also stupid. I think EMP is just in general stupid. This guy wants to join he wants to get the top one. I am honored that you considered me, sir, but nah, I'm sticking with my clan for now. When you're talking about not liking Macarena, you shouldn't feel like you have to make videos when you don't enjoy it. Oh, if I ever like fully stop enjoying it, believe me, I'm not going to make any videos. There are still some aspects about the game that I like. There's always been aspects of the game that I didn't really like. There's been, some that I like, some that I dislike. I've been complaining about one thing or another for a long time. The game has a lot of issues. But yeah, if I ever just like fully stop enjoying it, I'm just gonna stop making videos. And there's no amount of like persuasion that's gonna keep me going. Because at the end of the day, it's the same thing as like it'd be hypocritical for me to stay. Because like it's the same thing that I tell anybody else. It's like if you're not having fun, then just stop playing. The game is for fun. And also, to be fair, forget it, bro. Forget it, bro. I'm just gonna use Surge. Like legit. I can't be bothered trying to make this into something interesting. It's not gonna happen. The challenge basically explicitly exists just to force you to use Surge or maybe Eclipse. Like, it's going to be basically impossible. 15 kills in one match. Like, it's basically impossible to get that with anything besides Surge or Eclipse. What do you think the next meta would be? Shield piercing. I think that there's going to be some, like the only thing I can think of The only thing that I can think of that would explicitly topple the extremely high DPS and the radius meta that we currently have is some form of egregious shield piercing that comes from some mech or some weapon. I really can't think of any other way that those would be, like, lessened. Like, yeah, you could nerf those things, but... the meta would kind of remain the same. Like, if Revoker didn't exist, then, like, what would you use? You'd probably use, like, outside of Starmech, obviously. You'd probably use, like, maybe minigun, just because it has a lot of DPS. It's able to get through multi-layered shields. Imagine a legendary Orion, yeah. I mean, it might happen eventually. Wait, what? I think he missed his last shot, which is very fortunate for me. Only 4? Really? Okay. Gotta step it up here. Brother. What was that? Wait, did you see that? Did you see that random freaking orb fly past me? I don't know what that was. I mean, I assume it was probably a Solus. Alright, let's see. Yada. Go away. 8. I don't think I'm gonna get 15 this match. The map is kind of too big. Like, it's hard for me to cover the entire map. Like, it's possible, but it takes too long to get from one side to the other. Bro almost killed me with his stasis beams. Imagine. Where these pilots even existed, I mean, game is even better without them at the beginning of this freaking game. What's your opinion, bro? I can kind of agree with that, but, like, at the same time, I'm like, imagine playing this game for, like, 2 years. There's no pilots and no mods. It's literally just mechs and weapons. It would get so boring so quickly. You know? Like, I understand why they made it. I mean, part of the reason they made pilots is the same reason that they made mods. It's because every game has those types of things. Every game has a pilot of some kind with specific skills that will help your mechs or weapons in some way. Every mech game has like add-ons to your mech that will increase its survivability or something in some way. Pretty much every mech game has that. And that kind of makes sense. Just as like a general, like, you know, adding stuff for the sake of making the game more interesting. And I don't disagree. The game was better. It was better balanced back then. But that was mostly because it was before the grade update, I guess. But I also think it would be pretty boring if they didn't have any pilots or any mods.
I think that they could have used, I mean, like I was saying before, they could have used pilots and mods. They could have made them be really interesting. They could have made it so that there's like, you know, make it so that there's like different builds that I could use. Like if I have a Revoker Surge, I should be able to use, like, equip my implants or equip my mods to kind of create different playstyles for that build. But as of right now, it's just, well, there's good implants and there's bad implants. There's good mods and there's bad mods. It's just there's no playstyle variation, right? There's no customization. I can't use this how I want. I can only use this how it has to be used. Otherwise, I'm just using it wrong. Why don't people use Neymar? Unfortunately, mods multiply your HP. And Neymar doesn't give as much HP as a legendary pilot. It is very sad, although Neymar is a pretty decent choice for Deathwalker. Google told me Disclauncher 10 is best build with a Rhyme. Well, it's 100% correct. Been experiencing lag and frame drops these past few updates? No. I mean, the game's like crashed on me a couple times, but I haven't experienced that. Well, this is a good map for this. This should be fine. Theoretically. It's all bots too, I think, yeah. Which is sort of sad, but at the same time, I'm not going to kill a player 15 times with this. More than likely. Bro. Okay. Everything's fine. No! Oh, that's unfortunate. Thankfully, bots don't lead their shots, really. I'm just gonna corner shoot this, whatever. I don't really have much choice, yeah, because he's just gonna do that. Oh. There you go, dash at that guy. There we are. Oh, really? He got freaking domed, bro. Savanted to death, I am pretty sure. I was gonna try to get an angle on both of them, but nope. I can't. Okay. Bro, why do the bots have Revoker Bastion? It's so annoying. It's really putting a cramp in my... plans here. Stop that. I mean, the stasis beams are fine. I like that. More Revoker Bastions! How does this happen? No, oh, I'm cooked, bro. How does each bot have like 3 Revoker Bastions, actually? Like, straight up, like, just like, literally there's been like 2 Revoker Bastions at all times, and I've killed like 4 of them. Ridiculous, bro. You've had lag and frame drops? I mean, I'm not surprised, but no, I haven't had that. Are you on mobile though? I've heard people are having some pretty bad lag with the new aiming mode on mobile. Which is like, I mean, classic. On mobile, not PC. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Seems like all the bots have the same hanger setup. Well, I mean, I'm aware of that. That's been true for years.
I mean, don't ask me why. That's another thing that they could easily change, too, is to give bots random hangers. Like, variations of hangers. Instead, bots have one of, like, anytime you log into a match and there's bots, there's, like, 2 different hangers that they'll have. There are 2 variations to each of the hangers that are extremely similar. There's only, like, 1 or 2 builds that are even different. And that's the extent of bot variation. It's wild. Like, why don't you give... You know how many legendary mechs there are? You're gonna give me freaking seeker bots when I'm 3k SP on my free-to-play account. You know how many legendary mechs are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's 21 legendary mechs. Just with those, you could give me 4 different hangers with fully different mechs. You could have 4 different hangers with completely different mechs. Just with that. Now, I'm not saying they always have to, but like, there could just be like, I don't know, 20 different variations of hangers where like some of them have the same mechs, some of them have the same weapons, but then like, you know, the builds on each of them are a little bit different. You could easily make it a lot more interesting, but instead the game's like, no, everybody's gotta have the same stuff. Wild. Exotic. I'm kind of proud of myself for even seeing that. At first I thought it was just random Chinese characters or something. Hello. Technically 20 because bots don't have access to Vortex. Well, I mean, we assume that. I don't know why I don't see Vortex bots, but yeah, I don't know. Could be an issue with it. Your gut looks good, thank you. I think I'm not gonna lie, I kind of prefer it longer, but this'll hold me off. It'll keep me from. I have not had my hair cut in I don't know, like 5 or 6 months. That's why it was so damn long, especially in the back, and it was no. Clean slate, I can just grow it out all over again. Just joined, but do you think the game will get worse from this update? Yes and no. It'll be harder. Matches will be harder because there's going to be a lot of people with Revokers. But you'll have Revokers. So what it does ultimately is that it sort of lessens the gap between free-to-play and pay-to-win. And I think ultimately that is a good thing. Everything that's meta should be available for free-to-play. That is my stance. So regardless of how annoying it might be for one reason or another, I'm never going to argue that anything that's meta should remain pay-to-win only, because that's a stupid argument. So yeah, it's good that it's free to play, but it is like it's not going to be all sunshines and rainbows. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Can you join some matches? This is not my free-to-play account. This is 14,000 SP. I'm gonna try like 1 or 2 more times. If there's still just like a bunch of Bastion bots that I really can't do anything about, I might just say forget it. You're 5.5k, yeah. That wouldn't work super well, sorry. Bro, it's this map again. Why do they keep giving me really big maps? Well, I mean, I said last map was pretty small. Guess that's not really true. With my matchmaking, I'm cooked with this, yeah. I mean, not that you'd be any less cooked anyway. Like, you'll run into more Revokers, but it's not like you don't already run into Revokers sometimes. But at least now you have the opportunity to, like, actually get it yourself. Hey, cut that out. Dang it, bro. These bastions are everywhere. No. Oh, let's go. For whatever reason, he decided that the other guy was more important. Let's go. I've never been so happy to be called unimportant in my life. Go away, you suck. Oh my goodness, bro. Stop. I know what you're gonna do to me, bro. Freaking. Actually, shooting, if someone has blockade, shooting them from the side technically kills them the fastest. Because otherwise, one direction or the other is gonna get hit by the shield. No! Oh my freaking, that guy almost ruined my entire weekend. Oh, crap. Everything's fine. God. Whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. I don't care. Maybe I'll do it on my own time. I wanted to finish it because this is a challenge that the devs gave me. And if I finished it, then I was able to... I could have my choice as to whether or not I got a legendary skin or an additional giveaway. I'd probably go for the giveaway because I don't really care about skins. I don't play the game that much anymore. So I would have liked to have done that. And I probably will do it. But not... not today. Yeah, the Solus thing is broken. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why it only lasts for like half a second. I mean, it's relief every time. Like, every time it's like, oh my gosh, my freaking... I'm about to get flashbanged the crap out of. And then it's like, oh wait, never mind, it's gone now. So it's like... it feels good, I almost don't want to complain about it. He was out of range. Come on, guys. We need more low rarity weapons. Well, the thing is, like, low rarity weapons don't even work well. I mean, take my free-to-play account, for example. Like, everybody's mostly, like, I'm fighting people who are using legendary weapons. I'm mostly just using legendary weapons. It's the stuff that works good. Like, I can't be using rare stuff anymore. Rare stuff is so irrelevant to so many people so quickly, which is... I mean, I don't think it should be like that. I think they should lessen the gap between things. I mean, personally, I would say the difference between, like, a maxed common weapon versus a maxed legendary weapon should be, like, 1 rank difference, right? So, like, a rank 6 common weapon should be about the same as a rank 5 legendary. That's what I think. So, like, not a massive difference, but there's definitely a difference. That's what I think that it should be. But they're probably not going to do that. You like cryonades? That's fair. They are very good. Been playing Warbounds Frontiers, not gonna lie, I'm enjoying it, except for the dummies who don't communicate and know how to play the different modes. That is true. That is true. Okay. Now, I might be guilty of one of those things, because I don't use the in-game comms, And I don't even have, like, I have them muted because, well, because I'm sometimes I'm streaming it, but most of the time I'm recording stuff for potential YouTube videos. And like, I can't have people cursing up and down the wazoo while I'm doing that. I don't want to have to edit around it, so it'd be really annoying. So I just mute all of that. So I may or may not be guilty of not communicating. But I will tell you something, bro. Especially the beacon modes. Okay, like most maps have basically 3 beacons on one side, 2 beacons on the other side. And people will they'll go for the 3 beacon side to begin with, but then as soon as they see one dude who's down on the other side, they like freaking 4 of them jump down to the side with only 2 beacons, and then they hard secure those 2 beacons, even though they lost all the 3 on the other side of the map. Like, bro, you can pick one side or the other, and you're choosing the one with less beacons just because there was a one guy down there that you wanted to kill. Like, it's stupid. And it happens so much. It happens so much. You thought I didn't like Hornet? I kinda don't. It's so weak, it's so bad. Should I rank up my Orion or my Aegis? Do you have Panther? If you have Panther, then I wouldn't bother with Aegis. I would imagine Comms and Macarena would just half be 5-year-olds trying to form a coherent sentence, and half grown-ups using 20 curse words per sentence. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, and that's kind of why I don't want to do comms on Frontiers, because I know people are going to be cursing a lot. So I just mute it. But level up the Panther then? Well, that wasn't what he asked. Now, Panther and Aegis play sort of similarly, so you can put Aegis on the back burner if you have Panther. Used to play Mech Warrior on PC and customize everything from the engine to armor and weapons. It's so much tonnage you could have on a mech and decide how to use that. Yeah, I've seen like some gameplay of that, but I never got into like mech games until after that game kind of like already had its time. Very sad. Revoker 6 or Stormrack? I'd go with Stormrack personally, but I guess it's up to you. Stormrack is going to do a lot better if you have the reload implant. But I personally just think it's good to have the good range as well as the radius. Anyway. Yeah. I'll finish this some other time. I can't be bothered to continue, bruh. And all the bots have freaking bastions, so like I probably am not gonna be able to do it until they change the bots. But it's fine. ChatGPT just sourced my video for players often to highlight Orion's offensive capabilities, noting that it can melt your opponent's face off quicker than just about any other mech. I don't know if I've said that specifically. I don't think... Did it link my video? You said it sourced it, so I would assume. But I don't think I said that, so I don't know where I got that from. Just got Revoker 10 for Surge. Very cool. Anyway, yeah. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. What else? I mean, I've been Bro, I am just like so freaking fed up right now. Because I spent basically all of yesterday trying to get a video for what's it called? Robots Frontiers, right? And for whatever reason, they've like it keeps getting corrupted somehow, and I don't remember how. Like I had this issue before. It's the same issue that I had not that long ago. Is the reason that my last Mech Arena video, the giveaway ones, the reason that one ended early is because like the last 5 minutes were corrupted for some freaking reason. So my editing app keeps having issues with that, especially for longer videos. I don't know what the problem is. And I spent basically all of my free time yesterday, and I was up really late yesterday trying to figure out how to fix it, and I still couldn't manage to fix it. I had like 20 different versions, and I keep having to wait for it to, wait 30 minutes at a time for it to render again and again and again and again, only for the last 60-70% to be corrupted and completely cut out. And it's just really, really annoying. But eventually I will have that. And yeah, I'll probably make a post, and I'll probably ping people on Discord. Just to be like, hey, this is my channel for more about Frontiers stuff. So Frontiers vid is coming soon. Yes, hopefully. I have the channel set up. I just don't want to share a link until I actually have something worth watching. Or something, well, I guess worth watching is up to you. Something that could be watched. Appreciate any say you had in recent changes. Well, thank you. I don't know how much of an impact I have. Sometimes it feels like I have a lot of impact. Other times it feels like I don't. It is worth mentioning that like pretty much any problem that anyone communicates, like I do communicate it to the people that I have contact with, but I don't have direct contact to the devs. I have like a specific like a coordinator that all of the content creators have contact with, and then they forward like anything that I say. They forward that to the devs, or maybe they don't. But like some of the, I mean, even just kind of recently, I had the interview with Pasha, one of the game designers, right? And some of the things that like I suggested, well, most notably, one of the things that I suggested was like that they should that they should buff like all of these older weapons that just don't do very good. You know, it's like all this, like, yes, they're learning stuff as they're going along. They're learning, you know, this, that, and the other thing, and they're making some weapons they're making, you know, to be more viable in the current meta. But like I was like, well, you know, why don't you just like kind of buff up some of the stuff that just doesn't do very well? And he was basically just like, oh yeah, I didn't really think about that. Like, what? You know how many times I've asked them to buff stuff? You know how many times I've brought up the fact that old weapons are so freaking terrible in comparison? And all of the things that need buffs, the number of times I brought that up to the coordinator that I have, who apparently just didn't mention that to them at all. Like, okay, I can't. Like, it's cool that you heard it now, I guess, but like, I've been saying this for a long time. It's surprising that you never heard about it. But anyway, yeah. Getting fed up with constantly getting revokered in tournament. Yeah. Well, in terms of Revoker being a free-to-play weapon, I was predicting that this was going to happen sometime this month, and it did. And the reason that I knew this is because they've been releasing weapons to free-to-play roughly once every month or so. So like every 4 or 5 weeks. Most recently, they've been releasing them on Fridays. But if you go to my stream description, there's a link called Master Database. And in there, it brings up this Google Doc, right? In your browser. There's a tab in there at the very last one. It's calendar tracking. And it shows the order of release of every mech and weapon. They've been releasing them for free-to-play in order. So they did Polygon, and then they did Viper, and then they did, I'm looking at it right now, and then they just did Revoker. The next one should be Fuse Mortar in about a month or so. And then after that, Savant, and then Overdriver, and then Railgun 8. And you get my point. But yeah, it's like, it is consistent. There's consistency there. Relative consistency. It's not like a hard pattern, but relative consistency. In terms of weapons, not in terms of mechs. I don't know what they're doing with mechs. I didn't really think about that. It's crazy. I don't think that was his exact words, but his exact words, I think, were that we didn't really consider that, something like that, something around those lines. It was similar to that. It was basically that, but yeah, like somebody, like, apparently nobody ever told them about it. Nobody ever told them that we thought it was an issue, but I don't know, bro. I had maxed Brick House, Panther, everything except Killshot. That's a wild max Brick House. I don't know if Brick House was ever meta, but it's a gamer mech, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, the mods really toppled things, really flipped everything on its head. The Great Update kind of did the same. I mean, I kind of understand where they were coming from with some of the updates, but like, I feel like they could have taken measures to make them less destructive. Like the Great Update, like I was saying earlier, my own opinion, a maxed, or like a rank 6 common weapon should do about as well as a rank 5, or rank 6 common mech should do about as good as a rank 5, you know, where it's like legendary stuff is clearly better, or higher tier stuff is clearly better, but it's not that much better. And yeah, so they could have done that with the Great Update, but they didn't. With mods, they could have balanced it so that it didn't absolutely ruin every one-shot weapon, like snipers especially. They could have done that, but they didn't. It really does seem like they just kind of like, they come up with ideas and they don't really think about how it's going to affect the game as it is. It's kind of just like, oh yeah, that's an interesting idea. It's probably fine. Cool, go for it. Crash your motorcycle at 78 miles an hour. Damn. Got brain damage. Jeez. Sorry to hear that. Already hard enough without having to spend this much time to play a game. Yeah. I believe it. I believe it. I am happy to help in any way that I can, really, but sometimes it's like there's just nothing I can do. Or, you know, the only thing that I can do is just to do what everybody else is doing, which is just tell them about it, be like, just complain about it, be like, hey, I don't like this thing. It's about the only thing that anybody could do. Your comment got deleted in the giveaway video. I don't delete any comments there. So that would have been something that YouTube did automatically. Or... yeah, it would have had to have been something that YouTube did automatically. You can enter through my Discord, though. YouTube has issues sometimes with that. And I don't... as far as I'm aware, there's not really anything I can do to change it. Like, sometimes it just thinks that certain ones are, I think, phone numbers or something. I don't know. It counts some of them as, like, potentially personal information. It doesn't even, like... okay. There's two kinds of removed comments, right? There's the ones that are held for review and that I can personally go and check and approve them, right? And there's ones that YouTube just automatically deletes. I can't go back and approve it if it's an ID for, like, if it removes it because it thinks it's a phone number or something like that, which is often the case, it doesn't allow me to approve it. It just removes it. I don't see it whatsoever. There's nothing I can do. And I know that that happens sometimes, which is why there's a spot in my Discord for it. When Brickhouse was the best available, like 2 to 3 years ago, I don't recall Brickhouse ever being the best mech. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong, because... Well, I mean, you said best available. Maybe you just meant like the best free-to-play mech, which is probably true. Yeah, but I don't think Brickhouse was ever meta. But I also wasn't like super familiar with the meta when I first started. Wait, no, Brickhouse was around before I even started the game. I was thinking about Redox. Redox and Surge were added around the same time that I started. You just entered your ID, nothing else? Okay. Yeah. Just make sure if you enter in Discord, don't do like the ID colon keyword thing. Just put your ID and that's it. The ID colon thing is only for YouTube, and that's just to distinguish the comments. It's just to distinguish like the comments that have an ID and the comments that are just like, you know, a random, I don't know, someone mentioning like the cost of something. Like if someone were talking about like how Brickhouse costs like 1 million credits or something like that, like that could be mistaken. That number could be mistaken for an ID. Which is why you need like the keyword thing in order to distinguish that. What would make this game more fun? That's a very interesting question. Pilots should be less important. Like pilots should do less, significantly less. Mods should do less, significantly less. They should make it so that you can actually customize stuff. They should either give you a lot more implant slots. Well, they probably should, yeah. There'd be like, I don't know, like maybe 5 implant slots. And then every weapon should have like 5 different implants. And every mech should have like 5 different implants. They should give you way more implant options. Because currently there's just like, there's no good implant options. The multi-layered mods there should be significantly less layers. Like a maxed perimeter multi-layer should have like maybe 5. And a bit less total HP. Like the HP per layer obviously would be higher, but yeah. And the energy capacity, they should increase the energy capacity for everything, but have it also include mods so that you can choose between stacking HP, defense-related stuff, or stacking firepower, weapon-related stuff. Right? So I could put 2 16 energy weapons on here, or I could just like stack my mods and put like 2 8s or something on here. Like that's what I could do. In terms of pilots, I think another issue with the pilots, in my opinion, is the innate skill. I don't like that they're specific to a weapon category because it really removes the possibility. It removes basically any possibility of hybrid builds. I don't like that. They should replace the innate skill with something else. I don't know what. But basically, I just really like the idea of higher customization. It's something that they could do, but they haven't done. Suguru, hello. Quangon, hello. How are you? I'm about to end the stream, sorry. They could do 2 innate skills, yeah, between like 2 weapon categories. But even like Neymar though, it's still too specific, right? Like, how are you going to make a hybrid build? You'd have to choose a specific pilot to use a specific hybrid build. So I think the innate skill should be more arbitrary. I think it should be more arbitrary. I already said I think pilots should just give less buffs in general. They freaking double your damage output. They double your damage output. That's ridiculous. I think like 50% with an implant and a pilot, 50% is like the most you should get. So if the innate skill was just arbitrary weapon damage on some of them would just be arbitrary mech HP. You know? Like, as opposed to every mech every pilot having HP, some and some specific weapon damage. It should be like some combination of those two, maybe. Like, let's say the total is like 40% or something like that. They could do like 40% mech HP, 40% damage, a 20-20 split, a 30-10 split, something like that. There's all kinds of things that they could do with that. They could have multiple with the same innate skill, obviously, because if you want to use multiple of the same one, that's fine. That is personally what I think they should do. But that's for the sake of like higher customization. I don't think they want customization. I think Mech Arena wants to be like as simple and linear as possible. They prefer things to just be like, oh yeah, this is better than this, and there's just no nuance to it. I think that's the way that they like it, which is sad. I don't like that. I also wish that implants had downsides. I wish that certain implants had like legit downsides where it's like, maybe you get 30% more damage, but at the cost of like 10% HP or something like that. Like, I don't know, bro. But there's a lot more that they could do at this game that they're probably not going to do because they really want to keep it simple. But never know. I think a lot of people do kind of agree with me that they want like a little bit more, like they want things to be a little bit more intricate. I don't know if I would say the majority agrees with me, but there's definitely a lot of people who agree with me. And maybe it's the majority, maybe it's not. But if it is, it'd be cool. You meant tier 7 wasn't the... Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, okay, hold on. When the Gear Hub first came out, tier 8 did exist. But I think everything... Oh no, you could still get Giga Crusher and Onyx, I think, for 8 coins. What they used to have was just the progress path up here. And that's probably what you're talking about. Revoker 8 or Stormwreck 12? Stormwreck 12, don't get Revoker 8. Revoker 10 is better than Revoker 8 and 16. So if I had a maxed out mech, like Surge, I would do better with double 10s than I would with a 16 and 8 that would fill my energy capacity. And the reason is because the 8 isn't strong enough to get through multi-layered shields, meaning that you have to rely solely on the 16 to get through all of the perimeter multi-layer, which means it just takes you way longer. A 10 is strong enough to get through a multi-layer. And so even just using double 10s, you'll actually kill stuff faster. Could Particle Beam work as a modern railgun? Not really. It forces you to charge it up on someone, which is kind of it's kind of counterproductive. It forces you to first damage someone with the beam before you can damage them with the blast. And the whole thing with railgun is the really high burst damage with minimal exposure. So it forces you to have high exposure for the sake of one shot, and then if you don't kill them with the one shot, which you probably won't, you'd have to charge it up all over again. So yeah, it's like yeah. Particle Beam had potential, but it's not as good as it sounds like it could be. Is there any chance of getting a pilot like Neymar? I don't think that you can get Neymar anymore. I don't think it's possible. They haven't... Like, there was an event where you could get him, but I think that ended... If I had to guess, there was probably like a time-limited contract that they had, and now they don't have the permission to sell. They don't have... Like, yeah, they don't have permission to, like, sell that pilot anymore. Because the contract ran out. That's my guess, is probably what happened. I mean, I would figure that they'd be trying to sell those pilots up and down the walls. Because they're very interesting, but they're not that good. Like, legendary pilots in general are better. So you'd think that they'd be trying to sell those all the time, but they're not. And so I can only assume that it's because they can't. It was a promo for the World Cup, wasn't it? Yes, it was. But I'm talking about, like, the reason that they stopped, like, offering it, because they offered it for a little while. But I'm assuming it's some kind of contract that just ran out. You think you're gonna get Viper 6 first and then Revoker 6? Okay. It's not my life, bro. Anyway, yeah. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. There was a lot to get through. It was a long rant. I was complaining about a lot of stuff. And if at any point you thought maybe I was complaining about you, then I do apologize. I don't mean to blame anybody specifically for certain things. Sometimes I get questions that are kind of ridiculous, but like, ultimately I don't have to answer them. But, yeah. What else? I think that's about it. Yeah. I will try my damn best to figure out what's wrong with the Robots Frontiers video. I spent a long freaking time on it. You know, I had, just to emphasize. I'm just, for backstory, by the way, I have a different channel that I'm going to be uploading more Robots Frontiers stuff on, because I've been having a lot of fun with that game. And I'm having so many issues with that video that I made. I made a video. I edited it. It was 22 hours of footage. Not a 22-hour project. 22 hours of footage that I was working with. That I then spent a couple weeks, like a week or two, editing down to like 30 minutes. And I cannot get this video to render properly. Like 70% of it is unwatchable because it got corrupted by something. And I don't know what the hell the problem is. And I don't know how to fix it. But I will fix it eventually, hopefully. And I'll share that then. But yeah. So that's been going on, and that's not been fun. And I was doing that pretty much all day yesterday. Well, all last night, I should say. But anyway, yeah. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Take care.